The deception is over, and you are headed to your highest fulfillment on today's Oblyron divination. Greetings, everyone. I am Oblyron, Lord of the Underworld, and consort to the most lovely Hecate. Thank you for joining me on today's Elemental Synastry Reading. It is a divination technique which was given to me by the goddess upon her sacred marriage, and it involves the 5 elements, the tarot, and astrology. Now, this is a timeless collective reading, so take what resonates and discard what doesn't. And if you happen to resonate with today's reading, then let us all know by leaving a like and subscribe, or perhaps a comment. And if you're interested in the extended reading, feel free to check out the Discord. And yeah, let's begin with the reading from there. Alright, so I start off with the element of spirit, which is represented by the bell, and I draw a tarot card to see what is influencing that particular element, in this case spirit. So, what is influencing spirit, love? Okay. Oh, you want it to come out? Wow. Okay, so we got the inverted 7 of Swords. It's real interesting because I was actually doing a pre-shuffle for this deck, and the 7 of Swords popped out while I was shuffling, and then as I went on the camera right now, obviously you guys all saw it, that 7 of Swords came out inverted. I mean, it was just busting out. And also I noticed, I may as well mention it, the 5 of Swords came out too. So the 5 of Swords and the 7 of Swords have been definitely wanting to make their appearance. Alright, so in the upright position, normally the 7 of Swords revolves around some type of deception. It could even be some type of self-deception. But here we have it in the inverted position, and it actually means that in spirit, a lot of the, we're getting past a lot of the deception. We're going into the era of being able to see things with clarity. Also come into a greater sense of appreciation for things because of being able to see things as they are. And especially with the energy of that's happening right now at this particular reading. Of course, these are timeless collective readings, but with the energy that's happening right now, we have a lot of planets in Aries. So yeah, it's almost like we are too much in our warrior mode to be able to allow ourselves to be deceived. We respect ourselves too much. We value ourselves too much, and because of that, we're not going to lie to ourselves, and if we cannot lie to ourselves, then it means that other people cannot lie to us either. It means that again, the deception is over. The deception is over because we've put in the work to learn those hard lessons, and to also know how to move on from those hard lessons too, because part of clarity is being able to move on. Part of being able to have that sort of vantage point is, again, moving on and seeing things from, let's say, a different perspective, or let's say an elevated perspective, and being able to be away from the situation for long enough. So yeah, all right, excellent. So let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Yeah, that one really got me going a little bit, especially since that 7 of Swords kept on wanting to pop out. So the astrology die can mean either some type of advice or some type of influence, likely outcome, those types of things. And here we have Pluto in Taurus in the 12th house. Wow, okay. Okay, so I roll once for the house, and I roll a second time for the decan. Alright, so we're in that first decan of Taurus. Okay. So, yeah, there's... By allowing ourselves to not be deceived, I should say by not allowing ourselves to be deceived, however you want to phrase it, we are essentially transforming our mindset towards abundance, towards wealth, towards feeling, and even if we may have all the material gains, well, it's also transforming it now to the wealth of a spiritual plane and being able to recognize that too. It's being able to have everything. We're having some very, very transformative change coming in with regards to how we view finances and our material, and how we go about, let's say, even how we view the process of let's say acquiring these things. It's like we've not only completed a cycle, but after completing that cycle, we are experiencing this sort of reconstruction of everything that we knew before that first decan of Taurus. That's sort of that Five of Pentacles energy. That is the Lord of Material Trouble. And one of the reasons why that first decan of Taurus has such a, I wouldn't want to say a poor mindset, but let's say a mindset that keeps them in lack, is because of that mercurial influence, overthinking, and not having anywhere to go within the element of earth. Earth, especially fixed earth, Taurus's fixed earth, is very it's a very solid type of earth. It's far more than the cardinal earth or even the mutable earth. Taurus is very, very rigid, and then when you have Mercury trying to bounce around within this rigidity, well, that's how we can easily go into material trouble, is because we're kind of overthinking our situation. We may be paralyzed by thought, paralyzed by even taking the initiative, because there's just so much to do. And with Pluto influencing that right now, it's saying that we're coming to the end of the cycle, and not only that, but we're coming to some huge transformations on which is feeling this lack of deception, or which is feeling us not lying to ourselves. So yeah, very, very deep, profound change coming in. I mean, I'm talking like even changes on like a spiritual level, very deep, profound, life-changing, spiritual changing energies coming in, basically from spirit. Okay, yeah, everything will be revealed. The truth is all out there. Okay, let's see. Let's move on to the next element. Let's go to the element of fire, and that is represented by the wand. Fire represents our drives, ambitions, desires. So yeah, let's see what's influencing fire. Very curious, especially with with this profound change coming in from spirit. So what's the direction? Where do we go? Like Guns N' Roses says, where do we go now? All right. Well, apparently we're going towards our liberation. Light is at the end of the tunnel. The worst is over. The end times have come and gone, and now we're in the new times. We're in the flourishing times. That's what it's saying with the element of fire. Wow, it's this year. There's been a couple of readings already that have, and I only do one reading a week, but I've already had a couple of readings that had that inverted Ten of Swords. So, wow. Okay. So, because of this lack of deception, you know, they say, if I remember the saying correctly, the wealthiest people in the world do not lie to themselves. And with this complete lack of deception on our part, because we are not lying to ourselves anymore, well, guess what? Now our ambitions, our drives and desires, now they can be they can be fulfilled on any level. The sky's the limit. The worst of it is over. And we have free reign to direct and to focus our energies where they need to be directed and focused to. Yeah, a lot of these readings are so similar. It's like the other week, you know, with the chains being removed. It was like the inverted devil card, and now we're having almost a similar message come out, but in a slightly different way. It seems to be the main theme with this year is like everything is just being cast aside. Everything, all of our preconceived notions, all of our even our belief systems, it just seems to all be cast away right now, discarded like old pieces of rusty armor which no longer fit. All right. Let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. So we have the North Node in Virgo in the 3rd house. Okay. Let's move this over here. And let's re-roll again for the decan. Okay. So we are in that middle decan. Oh no, that is inverted. We're in that middle decan of Virgo. That's that 9 of Pentacles energy. Wow. So with this, it's basically saying that whatever we focus and direct our energies to, we will become self-made by it. We will experience that 9 of Pentacles energy. That's financial independence. That is the person who is self-made. They came from nothing. They turned themselves into something. Or let's say, you know, even if you came from a privileged background, well, guess what? Now you have the ability to separate from that background and be able to forge your own way. So that's essentially what its meaning is being self-made in some way. Yeah, we have this energy completely removed. You know, when the sky's the limit to our drives, ambitions, and desires, and also we have this 9 of Pentacles energy thrown in with that. I mean, yeah, it's in the 3rd house, the house of Gemini. So definitely be paying attention to communicating with our peers, with you know, establishing those connections in our more, you know, personal relationships, friends, siblings, families, neighbors, you know, people that we have more of a personal connection with, and yeah, it's really about strengthening those bonds and to really, yeah, I would say, especially if this is geared more towards, let's say, building money and building business and all that, then it would be strengthening the relationships towards friendships and business partnerships that could lend a helping hand towards that, or to help influence, or to help, you know, perhaps partner up or something. Well, whatever it is, there's all kinds of ways to look at this. But that North Node says, yes, this is where where our karmic path, where our life path is directing us right now. This is where the energies are saying, okay, this is what's in front of you. This is what's possible should you choose to take it. Excellent. Okay, let's go on to the next element. It is the element of air, which is represented by the swords. Air is communication, it's intellect. It can also be tied in with the throat chakra. Yes. Fast moving element. Okay. Alright, what is influencing the element of air, love? Okay, the Three of Wands. So, yeah, that is, that's that endeavor, that what is it? It's that birth of business. It is enterprise. It is, here, excuse me for a moment. It's crazy because it's like all of these are, they're all tied in so much. It's like they're all trying to like fight for my attention, but they're all saying the same thing. So yeah, this is quite something. So we have this business venture. This could either be something that we started up as individuals. It's interesting how with the last one I was just talking about business partnerships, but this is also referring to business. It's enterprise. Like I said, so maybe it's in our mind. Maybe we're thinking about starting it up with a family member or a friend. Maybe it's just something that we want to start up for ourselves, whatever it is. And we have this influencing the element of air. So it's definitely been in our thoughts heavily. It's definitely been on our minds. We've been probably obsessing over the idea of going into business for ourselves. Thinking of all the ways in which we can develop income streams and all of that. And depending on what our situation is, if we're looking for a partner to bring into this venture, or if we are looking maybe to talk to family to help out with that venture too, there's something happening here as well. There's a couple of stories happening with that. And yeah, but whatever is happening, whether it's partnership or whether it's seeking familial help or whatever, there is no deception, that no one is lying to themselves. There's going to be a very structured approach. There's going to be a business plan involved. There's going to be, it's going to be serious. It's going to be professional. It's going to be business. So let's see, what is influencing that Three of Wands? What did the astrology die have to say to that? So we have the Sun in Virgo in the 12th house. Wow, another 12th house. Okay, let's reroll for the decan. What is that? Okay, we got a 9. All right, so the third decan of Virgo. Wow, that is quite something. Okay, so this is big. This is very, very big. That third decan of Virgo, that's the Ten of Pentacles energy. That's the wealth card. That's the generational wealth, the legacy, whatever is happening, whatever has been being concocted or thought of. It's going to be something which leaves an impact, a huge impact, and yeah, that sun energy it's really about it's going to bring so much happiness. It's going to bring so much fulfillment. The sun is all about, living life to the fullest. And so with it thrown in Pisces there, it's interesting because it's this generational wealth, but we're having a lot of this Piscean energy. So there's all this, like I said, the ending of cycles, but also this sort of these deep spiritual revelations. So this could perhaps even be like a spiritual venture as well. It could be different types of philosophies, techniques, different perspectives brought in through spirituality, and a venture is created off of that, off of these deep revelations. That's one way to look at it. Another way is it could be something that has to deal with, let's say, very deep-rooted psychology too. Some type of venture in which we have to help people who are maybe not necessarily institutionalized, but just being able to help people who need to go to those sort of really deep levels to be able to be helped. That's another possible thing with that. Like I said, this could be a thought or an idea, and with all this Gemini energy coming into, I mean, it's a good time to probably communicate some of that business venture as well. It may be time to start reaching out. That is something to consider, but if it's not time yet, then obviously don't do it. Cool. Let's move right along. Let's move to the element of air, or I'm sorry, not air, of earth, which is represented by the pentacle. And pentacles represent our material wealth, our spiritual wealth, the ground we walk on, the connection to the earth. Yes, many things. So what is influencing the element of earth, love? Okay. Judgment. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it's amazing how much Plutonian energy we have. Plutonian underworld energy we have. Just like all over the place. Lots of transformation. We are in the year of the fire horse, so it's definitely time to it's time to spring into action, but also it's like we're springing into action from the ashes of the last year too. So it's like, well, what does the phoenix rise from? The phoenix rises from the ashes. Well, so does apparently the fire horse is rising from the ashes. And with all these Pluto references, these Plutonian references, Pluto is really about transformation, and it also, you can look at it in reference in terms of the earth too. Compost is very, very much Plutonian, and so anything in which the old has to be destroyed so that we can build something in the compost of the old, I guess you could say. We have Pluto right here, which is influencing, it's a planet that's influencing spirit, and now Pluto is influencing the element of earth. So yeah, there's a lot happening. There's a lot that is composting right now. There's a lot that is transforming into something which is going to take us to new heights, to new revelations. And again, we're going to go to those heights, and we're not going to lie to ourselves. We're not going to deceive ourselves, regardless of whatever it is. Yeah, let's see what the astrology die have to say to this. Very, very interesting reading so far. Very transformative reading, but it's like this sort of like really sort of subtle transformation. It's like transformation which is just sort of natural because it's meant to be at that particular time. A lot of times, transformation comes in kind of violently. Maybe there's some feelings of insecurity and whatnot. But for this, it's like a very resolved spirit within this transformation. All right, so we have Saturn in Aries in the 9th house. Okay, yeah, Saturn is in Aries if I remember correctly. Let's re-roll for the decan. Okay, wow, okay. So we have the first decan of Aries. Saturn in the first decan of Aries. Okay, that's that Two of Wands energy. And yeah, with what's happening, it's shown that this is the beginning of the path that we're supposed to be on. And with it being in Sagittarius, what a lot is transforming are probably our systems of higher belief. So a lot of how we view our place within the universe. You know, Sagittarius is that energy of higher learning. It's the energy of learned spirituality. It can also be about travel and those types of things too. But for this one, especially with the theme of everything, this seems to be more of the old spiritual value system coming to an end. It's transforming into something new. It's transforming into something better. And that first decan of Aries energy, that Two of Wands energy, suggests, this is a new beginning. Two of Wands is that spring energy too, first decan of the new year. So, or I should say, first decan of the, you get what I'm trying to say. So we're off to a good start. Like I said, it's the energy, the earth, everything is happening as it's supposed to be happening. The timing is right. That's really interesting, because I also did an elemental horoscope about 2 weeks ago where I said that the energy of earth, the timing was perfect. So it's interesting how these readings are kind of like reinforcing each other. And it's all kind of read around the same time. Yes. Awesome. All right. So yeah, let's move on to water. Let's see what's happening in the last element. So the element of water is our emotions. It's our intuition. The emotional depths. Let's see. What is influencing water? What is happening? Ace of Cups. Wow, this is so amazing. Wow, okay. Here, I'll put that there for now. Okay. So there are very few readings where it's like everything, all 5 elements are kind of like working in a nice cohesion. They're working in symbiosis with one another. And this definitely feels like one of those readings. So at the emotional base of all of it, there is going to be this sense of just wondrous and just so much coming in. We're talking about happiness. We're talking about, whatever area that we want to have fulfilled emotionally will be fulfilled emotionally. So let's say if you're looking for security and wellness through financial stability, well, that will come in. Let's say you're looking for happiness and sharing your life with another person, well, then that person will be there. That new love coming in, that new sense of happiness, whatever it is. that is a level of fulfillment and satisfaction that we are feeling right now on the emotional level, because of everything else coming into alignment. Like I said, the wealthiest people in the world, I said this at the beginning of the reading, the wealthiest people in the world do not lie to themselves. And it's interesting, the next one that came up was, or in the element of air, was the wealth, the Ten of Pentacles energy coming up, the wealth card in tarot. So, yeah, this is a reading of definitely like just complete fulfillment, on so many levels. And whoever this resonates with, there's been so many obstacles that's been overcome to be able to even get to this point. But that's Spirit's way of saying, this is your time. This is your time to be rewarded. This is your time to finally be recognized for what you have put in, because maybe so many have felt like, okay, well, maybe it was my time at some point, or whatever. Maybe sometimes we might have regrets of not finding success sooner, or whatever it is. However we feel, Spirit is saying, look, now's the time. All the tools are there, the deception is gone, everything is ready to go, and the worst of it is over, and there is just so much happening, so much which is about to manifest, so much fulfillment about to happen. All right, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Okay, let's put this away. Okay, so we have Venus in Aquarius in the 5th house. Wow, okay. So we got that star energy with that Leo energy. And it's interesting also because the 5th house and the 11th house are diametric opposites. And in astrology, those are actually pretty good to have that oppositions. So we have basically this fusion of those opposites of energy between the 5th house and the 11th house. And, let's re-roll for the deck. Yeah. Okay, so we got a 6. So we're in the middle decan of Aquarius. That is the Lord of Earned Success. That is that 6 of Swords energy. That's a very good card. It's a very... Like the title implies, earned success. It means that, if you put in the work, then you got good times ahead of you. And if you didn't put in the work, then you probably wouldn't have good times ahead of you. But this reading obviously is about putting in the work. This reading obviously is about those good times being ahead. And yeah, now, especially with Venus influencing that, it's really about enjoying that and using the communicative powers of Aquarius, as well as the leadership of Leo, and merging that into one to communicate that and to speak that. Venus, is also really about, it's sort of, the energy of Venus is not just, let's say, sexual in nature. There's so many other aspects to what Venus is. It's about persuasion through attraction as well. So this is also suggesting, to use that charm, use that persuasion through attraction, use that Aquarian energy to really embrace that and use those abilities to be able to relate to others. Infuse it with the 5th house energy. It's our own showmanship. It is our own. It's us wanting to just get out there and just be able to be our absolute freest, and so, or our most free, I should say. So yeah, so we have all this energy coming in, which is basically complete liberation. And of course, we have this Ace of Cups, which is also about so much, so many options in emotional fulfillment as well. So wow, this is just a wonderful reading overall. There's just so many things that it says. And again, nothing is really too dramatic, or nothing really pulls you out of the way or anything. It's just more of a reinforcing message from Spirit, saying that everything is right on time, everything is where it has to be, and everything is going to be absolutely awesome. Okay, let's see if we have any other aspects or anything that we can get from this. So yeah, I mean, we have a sextile formed here between the cups and wands, or I should say between water and fire. So those particular energies are amplified a little bit more. The fact that the worst is over, the fact that the more that we go into our north node, the more joy and the more emotional fulfillment we're going to see, and vice versa. The more emotional fulfillment that we have and that we feel within us, the more we will be pushed into our north node. So those energies are working together in symbiosis, I guess you could say. Okay, let's see. Okay, so looks like, let's see, 30, 60. Yeah, we got a square formed between fire and spirit. Okay, so why would that square be formed? Wow, okay. So we got that middle deck and combined. Okay, I'm starting to see why we got that. It's almost like this residual Five of Pentacles energy is kind of clashing against it. It's almost saying, okay, let's be a little bit more conservative, while the North Node is saying, no, let's feel good. Let's the worst is over, and don't you believe that that the deception is over? While Spirit is saying, well, yeah, part of the reason why the deception is over is because we also don't lie to ourselves. So even though the worst may be over, we still need to kind of tread with caution. So that's why there's that energy that's squared between those two. Excuse me. So we have that sort of transformation happening, which probably wants to go a little bit slower than how... Oh, but then we have Virgo too. Yeah, pretty much just a difference of opinions. This is a little bit more driving and optimistic, and this is a little bit more cautious. So yeah, there's a conflict between the two. All right, let's see, what else do we got? Squares. All right. Yeah, and we also got another square here. Let's see. Yeah. So also between Earth and Spirit. Yeah, so that we have Pluto represented by Judgment. We also have Pluto represented in the astrology die. So the fact that those two are there, there could also be a difference of opinion with that. One in transformation and in composting, maybe those ideals and those pathways, everyone has a different opinion in their path to transformation. And we also have a conflict between the House of Pisces and the House of Sagittarius. So both of those houses, they're very mystical houses, but in different ways. Pisces is that inner world of, ruled by the moon, and Sagittarius we have We have a lot of that Jupiter expansive energy, which is all about, you know, the travel and expanding into the world. So yeah, one expands outward, one expands inwards, and that's why we also have that conflict between those two. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? Is this an opposition? Let me see. Almost, but not quite. Actually, no, it is an opposition. Yes, this is an opposition. Okay, so yeah, and remember how I was saying earlier about the oppositions. You know, it's sort of the opposites attract, and in this case, we have. Yeah, we have two different ways to see the same thing, except with this being the element of fire and also with Sagittarius being fire, we have sort of more of a harmony between the two. And also, let's see. Yeah, there seems to be There seems to be an agreement between these two. Again, probably because of the houses that they are in. They seem to agree on the methods of where their particular elements are going and where they are going together. Very interesting. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to get more specific, but it's hard to get in more from that. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, so I'm going to take it to the extended from here and see if we could possibly get some more clarification. Maybe we'll find out why that is. I have no idea. I'm going to be using some oracle decks to get some clarification on that. Yeah, we'll see. So if you're interested, feel free to head on over to the Discord that is in the description, and I'll be sure to assign you a role so that you can be able to view these extended readings. And also, if you want to as well, you can schedule a private elemental synastry reading if that interests you. So let's see. Yeah, I think I will leave it there for now. Thank you for joining, and may Hecate illuminate your path and guide you at the crossroads.